What's up, guys? How you doing? No, 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 no. A little bit better, please. Okay. Like Day said, thank you guys so much for coming out. I'll be your host for the evening. I've been recently trying to get into autoerotic asphyxiation. But every time I go to try it, I choke. They say that most accidents happen close to home, and I found that to be true last week when I shit my pants in my driveway. All right, we're good. All right, good. All right, so we're all here, good. So, I don't often like to do anything political because I feel like it's divisive, but I have to right now. For my own sake. I just can't help but feel like I have a personal responsibility for what's going on in the world right now. Like, I feel like Trump getting elected the first time was like if you were to wipe your ass and then get shit on your hand. Like, if you had paid a little bit more attention, it probably wouldn't have happened. And now we've all been walking around for the last 4 years with like, I got shit on my hands. I gotta get this off somehow. And everybody's like, well, you need Downey. No, you need Charmin. No, we just need to get the shit off our hands. And then there's other people that are like, oh my God, I suddenly realize I love having shit on my hands. I don't think I'd change this at all. I want 4 more years of shit on my hands. And I'm not trying to talk shit about people that support shit hands. My grandma is a shit hand herself. I'm pretty sure the North Iowa Rant and Rave page was built just for her. She likes to go on talking about how my generation is so entitled, but nobody from my generation got thrown out of Hardee's in Osage 2 weeks ago because they changed the batter on their chicken strips. So, just gonna let you guys kind of think about that. It's curious. I'm not very trusting of anybody, government official-wise. I don't think we ever get the whole truth. And not to be dismissive of what could be a serious pandemic, but I really wouldn't be surprised if, 6 months down the road, the only time you ever hear of coronavirus is when you go to Colorado on vacation and you go into a dispensary and find out there's a strain of weed named after it. Shit's killer, man. I've been doing comedy for a few years now. How many? 2? 2 years now? Yeah, 2 years. I started back in 2017. I had a really rough year that year, and I decided this was the only way to kind of get through it. One of the worst things that happened in 2017 was that I got chlamydia. And I mean, we all know that STDs are pretty marginally preventable all the time, but I feel like this one was exceptionally preventable. I should have known something was amiss when the woman I took home wasn't wearing shoes while she was at the bar. So if you're wondering how to not get chlamydia in Mason City, make sure that the woman at the bar is wearing shoes. Just a little healthy life advice. In 2017, shortly after the chlamydia thing, I got it cleared up. Obviously, I didn't just decide I was going to live with it. Obviously. And I got offered, there was a new spa that opened up in town, and I got offered, they wanted me to be a model. And what that meant was they got somebody new employed with them that had never done a Brazilian wax on a male before. So they asked me, right, I was flattered, they asked me if I would be their guinea pig, so to speak. And I said, of course. And I showed up and I got it done. And if any of you men in the audience are asking yourself if maybe you want a Brazilian wax, I know some of you probably are. If you're wondering, I need you to look yourself in the mirror before you make the decision and ask yourself one question. How badly do I want my junk to look like my dick was a baby bird that died struggling in a pile of chewed gum? And if the answer is I want that really bad, get a Brazilian. So I'm originally from Osage, not too far from here. Moved to Mason like 9 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, whatever. And one of the things that I observed a lot in Osage were meth heads. And then I moved here, and there were more. Yeah, exactly. But I learned something. There's different breeds, okay? I always wanted to be Steve Irwin when I was a kid. I couldn't do it because there's no animals in Iowa, but there are tweakers, so that's me. I'm not the crocodile hunter, I'm the crackhead hunter. And what I found is that small-town tweakers in Iowa are a very skittish breed. They aren't afraid to hole up in their house for a week, tinfoil over the windows with a little strip peeled out in the corner so they can make sure the cops aren't raiding their house. The only time they leave is to get more meth and maybe some bottled water. I know this because I studied the Osage tweakers so closely that I did what they call, in sociology, I went native, which means I started doing meth with them for like a while. I was convinced it was 2 weeks, and then it turned out I was 17 when I started, and when it was all over, I was 19. So I got away. And I moved here, thought I'd be rid of all that shit. And once I got here, I found out that there were a different breed here, a lot more active, always walking around. And you know the walk, it's this one. They got more bags under their eyes in an Iowa cornhole tournament.